Good evening. This is Ken at Tortoise Capital. This is the quiz for January 23rd, 2019. Self score to see what each of these 14 items is referring to in the way we mark up in the standard way. So, number one, this is symbol DIA. It's up 0.7% for the day. Mexico and Brazil are up 0.77 and 2.6. So they're continuing that strength that was in those two Western Hemisphere markets. The Russell was down 0.25%, and the Qs were down 0.13. So the strength is in the U.S. large caps right now inside the U.S. You can see some big winners here in Alcoa, IBM, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble. So those would be indications for tomorrow that if the Dow is up and it's better than the market, I'd be looking to DIA and those large caps for continued follow through. So that's number one. Number two, we're looking at yesterday. Number two is just the primary trend of the day, and the fair value is this RL270, which bottomed out here at a support level at 242.35. We put a collapsing dragon marker down here, so if any of today's price action had failed through there, we were automatically triggering at 242.35 for any additional position that we might have had on along the way. We were getting hungry for that as we saw price failing, that if it had gone through here, we were going to get even bigger moves. Number three is I'm looking at the downward decline of the VWAP. I'm noticing the difference between price action and the VWAP. That's where the big money is, right from this initial splurge. So this looks more like trading action, and so that wouldn't surprise me to act as a magnet for tomorrow. And you can see that in the last little bit of the day, you get that VWAP magnet move, which brings the price all the way back. This one unmarked, bonus point for 50 additional dollars. If you notice that that's measuring the gap, which gets, and then you can see all that volume from today right here. So that's the size of the gap up. So number four, we're looking at the support level and all this volume, which triggered some of that buying action, and then today price gets down into that region and triggers more buying volume. What do you know? So number four is looking at that essentially a double bottom, and you could even argue this is a higher low, which gives you confidence in this move. So that's number four. Number five, looking at the MACD histogram, the seasonality, the big gap up and then rolling over. When it comes back into its red river above the zero line, we're in the fall, and then this is a time that we can look to get short on weakness. Number six goes right along with that. I want you to notice the VWAP here, and then all this price action, big splurge up, and then everything rolls over, including fair value. That's a collapsing dragon, my favorite pattern of all. It triggered us today into some really excellent moves. Number seven is just the primary trend of the morning move, large move that closes the gap all the way back to yesterday's support level. Number 8 and 9 in tandem, this is the flow of the VWAP during the day, and then it kind of levels off as we're starting to get some volume in here that smooths out the decline. Number 10 is the max excursion from the VWAP in the 270 down to the RL10. That's an RLFF regression line fractal framework excursion. It sets up this rebound play. I want you to think of this as a bow and arrow, and that's how far the traders have the strength to draw price away from this long-term fair value. I want you to notice the 90 in here. When it makes its term, that's an additional confirmation. So the 90 on a 1 minute is the same as a 30 on the 3 minutes, and that gives you an additional insight. Number 11 is the afternoon move from the support level all the way back to the VWAP magnet. Gets all the way back to where we'd programmed some additional entries if we'd had time during the day. This would have been an area to add. So number 11 is just combined with 7 is giving you this V of the day. Big gap up, big move down to support, big move back into fair value, and right into this support level yesterday. So we're simply playing within the normal range of the day with 11. Number 12 is the convergence of all the price action from the traders now gets back to fair value at the VWAP, and then the rest of the day is just jockeying. There's another little, almost a yin-yang, down, up, and back, but everything is anchored around this magnet as it gets into the close for number 12. Number 13 is at double bottom support level, coincides with an additional position we would have added short for the swing system if it gets outside of yesterday's yellow zone, which is bounded by this yellow brick right here. So that was another key decision point for us. It found support before it got there. And then finally, number 14, what I'm looking at for tomorrow is that you have this large support level here, the gap up, and then where it failed, there was no buying pressure above here. So yesterday, if it opens down anywhere in this daily region, I expect a real strong test at 246.75. If it gets above here, I'll be looking to add. This was a previous resistance level before from the weekly analysis, and it gets above 247, then it's really free and clear, and that's above the RL10 for today's peak. So if there's another hidden bonus in here, if you notice this as an owl, this is your unambiguous move, a P1 outside the river, the RLXD, the dragon rolls up, the 30 rolls up, and you'd be looking for an owl entry right about here with the target back to the VWAP, and bang, there you go. You have some pocket entries or re-entries. If either of those moves had gotten you out, you have a chance to get back in, especially when it crosses the RL270. So there's those are your 14 answers. The two $50 bonus coupons if you figure out without me numbering them what the green arrow is for, and if you notice the owl. Be honest and take your credit for your coupons. Okay, thanks for playing along. This is Ken at Tortoise Capital. Keep your risk measured and your powder dry.